What's up, guys? I didn't expect to make another video as quickly as I am. Usually, I wait for more information to come out, but since I put up the last video, we've gotten some new information. First, there was an announcement about the game, the price, and it's going to be $50. And before I get into that, also they just released another trailer, and I saw this on Real Radman's channel, so he gets credit for that. He's usually one of the first to always put this information out there. So kudos to him. I give him credit for that, and you guys should check out his channel. So moving on to the subject, which is the trailer and the pricing thing. First of all, I just want to say that the price thing, it could be a good thing or it could be not a good thing, and I'm kind of conflicted about it. On one hand, the reasoning for dropping the price to 50, uh, it could be because they said, hey, last year's game was bare bones. It really wasn't worth full price, and so many people were unhappy about it. And this is like an olive branch. Let's only charge $50 for this game to keep people uh, from wanting to stop supporting us. Let's do this as an olive branch, right? And if that's the case, then it's a good thing, and I support it, and it's actually a nice thing to do. The problem is that the more reasonable side of me, who's experienced, who's seen the way that business works, and how developers and the world of not just gaming but just business in general, usually companies don't, or corporations don't, do things out of kindness. It's very rare that they do something that costs them money just to do something nice for consumers or for the people who've supported them. That's a very rare thing. Usually, even if they can admit that last year's game wasn't what it could have been, they would just be like, okay, that's just it is what it is. That's the cost of doing business, and now we're focused on this game. So if that is the case, then great, that's good news. But like I said, I'm not, the more reasonable side of me, I'm looking at something else, and I think I'm leaning more towards they're not as confident in this game as they should be for whatever reason, and they're probably like, you know what? We know this game isn't going to be as good as people want it to be. So if we charge 50, it kind of softens the blow. And if that's the case, obviously that's not a good thing, and that's really not what I want. I'd rather pay $60. I'm not looking for a discount, and I know, yeah, it's always great to get a discount, but I'd much rather feel like these people believe in their product so much that they're like, don't even worry about it. You're getting a good, solid game, and it is what it is. It's $60. It's the price of a full game, just like any other game, right? Very rare do people come out and they're like, we're only going to charge X amount for this game because it's not really worth, $60. So I don't know what to think. I'm leaning, like I said, more towards that there's a little bit of a lack of confidence, but it's just speculation right now, and I could be wrong. So I want to get away from that. I just wanted to touch on that really quick. So I'm in the air about that, right? But let's move on to the trailer. And I'm going to say, all of you guys who watch my videos, you know that I have not been happy with their marketing, the way they market their stuff. And it just seems like they do all the wrong things in terms of marketing, right? The marketing has, up to this point, taken whatever enthusiasm I feel and just like brought it down a notch. It's like, it does the opposite of what marketing is intended to do, which is to get you excited. It's been doing the opposite. However, this trailer actually looked good. I have no problem with it. Um, it's not gonna blow you away in visuals. Okay, we already know that, and my message to all of you guys is don't worry about the graphics right now. Graphics are important, but we have to accept at this point that this company at this stage, okay, the game is going to look the way it does, the way it did last year. If it looks better, it's really you got to kind of do a side by side and look for the tiniest detail. So the only difference I can say honestly is the lighting seems to be better this year. Last year, I don't know if you guys remember when they first started releasing early footage, I could not stop focusing on how dusty and cloudy the cars looked, and everything just had an odd film to it. And this year, this game has a much better lighting to it, So, but as far as just graphics, it's gonna look almost exactly like last year. So don't focus on that, right? I'm focused more on all the other things, all right? Because if everything else comes together and it gives you a good, solid experience, then the graphics are not going to be as important right now. Graphics are something that they're going to have to focus on in the future at some point. And like I've said before, it's not realistic to think that they can just dramatically improve graphics until you. The only way to do that is to rebuild the whole game from scratch. Maybe use a new engine, okay? I'm not an expert in game development, so I don't know all the technical things that have to happen. But I don't believe they can actually do a lot to improve graphics dramatically. Okay, now they can probably mess with shading and lighting and contrast and, fix the aliasing issues and stuff like that. And that will make a difference. That's kind of polishing it up. But it's not the same as a whole graphical improvement, like another stage. And they are behind other games like Project Cars and all the Gran Turismo Sport, Forza, all these games are Assetto Corsa. All these games they're on another league. We know this, so we can't. I'm not going to keep focusing on it because that's not even important right now. It's something they have to address in the future, but it is what it is. But the trailer itself, it does look exciting. Like I could see that, and somebody watching it is like, "Wow, look! It's got all this stuff in it. It's got trucks. You see them on Eldora track. It's got Xfinity. It's got all three series. They showed a little bit of the menu for the career mode, and it's not bad. And it doesn't really tell you all the things that are in the game as far as presentation and all this other stuff. Now, in Radman's video, he did mention that he was hoping to see something like a manager or an agent, like in the old games and stuff. To that, I kind of agree because I love stuff like that. Anything that makes the game more immersive and it pulls you in, I'm all for that, and I want that. But just because we haven't seen it yet, maybe it's in there. Right? I mean, we don't know, okay? And it seems like they're just throwing a little bit out at a time. They've announced this much, but they've only shown this much. So the split screen thing, they're really on that. In this video, they mention it again, but it's part of the trailer for the game, so I expect that. And it just seems like, right now they're just giving you a little bits of everything. And maybe that's not a bad thing. I like surprises. And maybe it would be a good thing if some of the things we found out on release that are things we weren't expecting. And that's a nice little surprise is always good. So I don't think they have to actually reveal everything, but there are things I am concerned about, and I do want to hear something about it. Okay. Before I get to that, so the rest of the trailer, it looked good, and we know there's a victory lane, some presentation. I don't know how deep that goes, as I said. Maybe they're just giving us little bits. But the one thing that I did notice about the victory lane, it looks like something that was pulled right out of one of Eutechnyx's games. And maybe they're using some of the assets that they purchased, because they did purchase all the assets of NASCAR stuff from Eutechnyx. So I mean, I'm a little conflicted. I would like to see things more fleshed out and polished, but anything they can cram into this game, and that's an addition as far as presentation, it only makes the game better. Once we get the game and I could really dive into it, I can critique it further. But so we see a little presentation there. The I guess the UI, the interface, when where they show the career mode and stuff. I like that. You see in the bottom, you see a calendar. I'm assuming you'll be able to run multiple series during the same season. And maybe they'll do like they do in real life, where you can't just run every fucking race in Xfinity and be a full-time cup driver and stuff like that. But it's nice if you could run multiple series, multiple races during the week. That's pretty cool. So other than that, it was a pretty well put together trailer. It's not something that's going to blow people away, but coming from the lackluster marketing that they've been doing so far, it was a pleasant surprise. So the trailer it was pretty well put together, all things considered, and I look forward to seeing more of what they reveal. Now, the things I want to know is, I want to know. This is the thing that kind of bothers me. With all the new features they've announced. They've announced, the 3 series, the split screen, the deeper, more immersive career mode, all this other stuff, and the statistics. I do want to see how the stats are laid out. Maybe show. I'm really hoping it's a lot like the old Thunder series, where you had a dedicated page, and it broke it down, and then you had, season by season, total career totals, and then you have another page with just your online career stats. So I want to see that, because it's been so long since we have had proper statistics, a statistical compilation in a NASCAR game. It's been so long. Okay, so I'm really curious to see that, and I hope that they did a good job with that, because I truly believe that's going to be one of the biggest additions that's going to change the way you enjoy this game. I've always said it, and I'll be embarrassed if, after they add all these stats and people are like, it doesn't make a difference to me. I truly believe that it will. I think it adds a lot of depth to the game, and I cannot imagine sports without stats. You can't even have a bar argument, sitting at a bar arguing about who's the best quarterback, who's the best running back, who's the best first baseman of all time. What do you talk about? Stats. That's how you compare people, athletes. That's how you talk about people's achievements. It all comes down to stats. You take stats out of any sport, it just doesn't matter. So that's how important that is to me. So I really want to see how it's laid out. I'm really curious. I don't think that they're going to come out and have a full explanation and detailed, exhibition of what it is. But I'd be curious just to see like a stat page, just flash up there real quick. So I'm hoping it's well done. Okay, it's not hard to do stats, so I don't even want to hear, oh, it's really difficult. Okay, so I'd like to see that. But here's the thing I'm concerned with. With all the things they've announced, right? All the new features, all exciting stuff, they haven't mentioned once improved AI, improved physics, improved handling, or proper working caution system, right? These are the things that, well, I honestly, physics and handling, although they leave something to be desired, I don't think they're as terrible as a lot of people think. And I'm not, the reason I say that is, I don't compare this to Project Cars or Assetto Corsa, games that pride themselves in physics and handling and setups and stuff, and giving you a more of a realistic simulation, right? These guys clearly, they're not trying to be a simulation, and I do think that for what they did, it wasn't terrible. Okay, could it be better? Absolutely. Do I want it to be better? Absolutely. But honestly, I do think that the AI is a little bit more of an issue with this game. I think if you fix the AI and get it to spread out better and run different lines, right? And and the pitch strategy, which I've said is horrendous. Fix that and fix the caution system. So if the caution system works properly and the AI races a little better and spread out, you know, uh, quicker and give you room to race and just an overall improved AI, right? And a fixed caution system. I think if they did that, I really think the physics and handling would not be that big of an issue. I think you would really enjoy racing because how the AI races you and how much of a challenge they give you and you I think that's where the fun is, right? So yes, those other things need to be worked on, but I'm more concerned with the AI and the caution system. And the fact that they haven't talked about that at all, that's the red flag for me. And that's what really concerns me about this game. And I'd like to know, did you at least work on it? Or did you leave all that stuff alone and just focus on all these new features? Because that's what scares me. Because if the caution system is still broken and the AI is exactly as it was last year, this game it's not gonna be what it could be. And I think as important as all the things they worked on is, and I'm glad they did, I want to know, did you work on that AI to improve it? And did you fix that caution system? Now, they already said that the sound, which is a big deal, okay? Sound is very important. They did say that that's not the way that the cars are going to sound when the game releases, so I'm going to take them at their word that it's going to sound better, okay? So, the AI, did you work on it? Did you fix the caution system? Okay? I haven't heard one thing about it in all of their press releases and all of their marketing. And that's what I'd like you guys to do. Those of you who are on Facebook and Twitter, if you could please get in touch with them, ask them, did you work on these things like the AI and the caution system? Did you improve it? Did you fix it? And hopefully they say, yes, we've been working on it. Okay, I'll be happy with that. But that's the red flag for me because usually whenever a developer releases a new title that's part of a franchise, they usually let you know if, yes, we've new and improved AI, new and improved handling, new and improved, things that have to do with the gameplay mechanics. They'll tell you because if they worked on it, I'm sure they want people to know we worked on it because that's a concern for everybody. And that's the red flag for me. I want to hear something about it. So let's see. Maybe they let us know. Because if they didn't touch that, and that's what scares me, and that's kind of the feeling I'm getting because they haven't talked about it. If they just left that stuff alone and just focused everything on everything else, focused on everything else, the additions, the features, yes, the game's going to be better. But that's going to be a problem. And I'm not going to be happy about that because that caution system is completely fucked. Okay? The AI is not terrible, but I hate the pit strategy. It's game breaking, to be honest with you, because the you can finish all the way up front, even though you ran like crap, just because a caution came out and you took 4 tires and fuel, and the AI stays out, and then they run for they pit under green, and you pass everybody, and even lap most of the field. That's not realistic. That's not the way pit strategy works. Usually, when there's a caution, unless it's like less than 10 laps, everybody comes in for tires and fuel and all that. It's just dumb. And years ago with EA, we had better pits. The AI knew how to pit, when to pit. You didn't get that stupidity, as far as I can remember. Okay, so that's pretty much all I got to say. But I will basically, I like what I saw. I like the trailer. I thought it was exciting. It's something that made me look at it, and it does feel, it gave it a whole new feel, like this isn't last year's game. Now, how much of this is just, well put together trailer? We all know trailers have nothing to you. How many times you saw a trailer to a movie and you're like, I gotta see that, and it turns out to be nothing like the trailer? That happens with games too. But knowing what they've added to the game, I'm excited, and it's a roller coaster, man. One day they get me excited, the next day I see something and I'm kind of down. So, the good news is they have me interested, and I expect the game to be better than last year's. I really do. I have a feeling it's gonna be. The question isn't whether it's gonna be a better game. The question really is, how much better is it going to be? Okay, because a lot depends on, did they work on things like the AI, the caution system. Handling and physics, yeah, it could always use a tweak. And when it comes to racing games, all racing games, you could never be satisfied with AI, physics, handling, with leaving it alone. Every time you make another racing game in the franchise, you have to continue to work on AI, physics, and handling, because it's never perfect. It's an ongoing thing, right? So every time you make a new game, you have to go right back and start tinkering with AI and physics and all that. That's heavy coding and programming. Okay, that's well above my head, but there are people that's what they do. So I want to know if they actually tried to improve it, worked on it. But the fact they haven't talked about it, that's kind of that has me worried. So, what do you guys think of the trailer? I'm excited. It looks good. I gotta be honest. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I can't wait to see what else they release, and as far as information. Hopefully we see a little bit of the stats, and maybe talk a little bit about the career mode. Have like a quick walkthrough where they talk about, and then hopefully, you never know, maybe there is an agent, and maybe you have some interaction with your crew chief or the car engineer and your team and your crew. It'd be nice to implement all this in the game. I think, I'll be shocked if we get a lot more than I'm hoping for, because that's not realistic, but it'd be nice. So let's see what else is up ahead. So what do you guys think? And maybe you guys could also drop a line to 704 Games, find out maybe what they have anything to say about the AI and the caution system, or anything else. Maybe the spotter, improved spotter. That's another thing. So it's good talking to you guys, and I look forward to the next batch of information that comes out. And once again, go check out Real Radman's channel and What If Racing. All these guys, they all do a good job. They try to keep us informed, and that's where I get my information. I'm the least technically savvy of all these guys. These guys put real videos up, and they do real editing, so they deserve, subscribers and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't do this for that, but that's where I get my information. So go check out their channels and support those guys. And let's stick together, man. Let's keep working on this and keep trying to keep that communication open with 704 Games and keep it constructive. And I'm telling you, we got to keep nudging them in the right direction. But I like what I see so far. I look forward to your comments. Later, guys.